How can anyone suggest that commercial property values have either decreased or not risen as fast as residential? Clarendon Commons set a nationwide record for value. Is it possible that the county is not properly assessing commercial property? Could I have 1 minute, please? That would be Mr. Rubner.
Well, I have to confess also that I didn't quite understand Chris's explanation about how commercial properties are going up, but the county doesn't have as much money. The fact is, as Mike pointed out correctly, that our budget has grown by $400 million over the past 5 years. And Chris, I hope you can explain more, because I really just don't understand how you can say that this hasn't translated into an increase in the county's budget and resources that it has at its disposal.
Let's see, what's the question? The first part of the question was about commercial.
Commercial property assessments are not.
Okay, yeah. The commercial property did, in fact, grow at a much lower rate than residential. I mean, that's just the data. And that's because of the fact that the residential market has been extremely strong, especially when the condo craze raged for several years. But, I mean, that's just the assessment methods are prescribed by law. There's national standard, the state law governs how it's done. And the fact of the matter is, commercial property did grow in value. I'm not saying it didn't. I'm saying it grew substantially less, often half the rate. And that's where you wind up with this imbalance. But I'm not saying that the budget didn't grow. I'm saying that the growth in assessment was much more than any additional revenue the county had. Now, the county budget did grow for a number of different reasons. One is the feds and the states have been cutting back on an awful lot of what they do, and we're picking up some of that. We're paying for instance, for police officers, we increased when there were federal grants. That's in our budget now. Nobody said we shouldn't have police officers, but we have to pay for that now. A whole range of different programs the federal government and the county and the state used to pay for, they're not doing. The state has obligations under law enforcement for what's called 599 funding. They've underfunded that chronically. So that's a portion of it. And we chose to do more in some areas, and yes, the schools are one of them. We spend a lot more on schools than we did 10 years ago. That is a part of it, and I will plead guilty to that. We doubled per pupil spending in this county on students in the time I've been on the board, and I can understand if somebody disagrees with that. I think it's money worth spending, and that is something I support.
Before I get to commercial property, I just got to ask Chris, if he knows the federal and state spending is falling every year, why didn't he put some of that money away during the windfall years that we had in case we got to a rainy day? In terms of commercial property, Chris is right. I sit on fact, and his explanation is correct in terms about the commercial real estate and the assessment values for the homeowners and so forth. But my concern is, what are we going to do about BRAC? Crystal City. Those people are going to be moving out of there. Businesses are going to be moving out of there. And you take a look at the whole situation, and you just have to shake your head and say, this doesn't make sense. How can you tell me that this is going to be put more on the backs of the commercial real estate market when a lot of our commercial real estate is going to move out of the county because of the BRAC closures? You've got to ask your question is, are they living in reality? And is that the reality that we want to have on this county board? Because the truth is, boy, it's a lot of money they've spent, and you know, I agree with Chris that our schools are important, and we spend a whole lot of money on children and education in this county. Chris has taken a lot more credit for that than he probably should, because he just waves the wand across the school budget every year. So, thank you.